Hi.
We are.
After 10 years, I first came across the Asking is Giving book. So last week came again. So I was a little skeptical, but today was like the last week or week and a half I've been like listening to a lot of the videos and like, okay, it's time. So it happens to be around here close to where I live. So I have a question. Sometimes I feel like the universe is just teasing me.
Sometimes we feel you're depriving yourself of things that you could have. Sometimes we think you're teasing yourself.
Could be. It could be. And I want to cross the bridge. That's what I want. I want to see where I stand sometimes because I realize that I have we all do have the ability to manifest and create things. Sometimes I ask for something, like for example, one time I asked for a hummingbird feather, so I found the whole hummingbird. So things like that. So, personal relationships. I get this close. I had a person that I want to be with, and it seems like it's going, and suddenly, boom, gone.
This is a very good day to have this conversation. You see, what most people do as they are approaching a subject like a relationship that they want, or a dead hummingbird, or
I didn't want it dead. I want it alive.
or a pile of money, whatever it is. Most people, because you are, and we love you so much, oriented toward the now moment where you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. So most of you, when you decide that you want something, you jump in here. So what can I do about it? What can I say about it? How can I move more toward it? What action can I take? Or even, what can I learn from you, Abraham, or from you, whoever you are? What can I learn jumping right in where I am? How can I just jump in where I am and improve my experience? And we want you to improve your experience, and we know that there are things that you can do right here and now with your eyes wide open that can cause you to offer a little less resistance, which can make things move more in your favor and not so much against. But we also know that that's really the hard way of going about it, because there is all this that came before this. We want you just for a moment to start with us by accepting the existence of law of attraction. Can you do that? And by accepting that you are vibrational and that you are projecting thoughts and that those thoughts are being responded to by law of attraction, and that eventually equals what you're living. So you get what you're thinking about whether you want it or not. Now let's talk about law of attraction, and let's talk about law of attraction in terms of momentum, because there is a process. If you have a seed, let's say a kernel of corn, and you want a stalk of corn and you want corn ears so that you can eventually have a nice meal with them, and you put the kernel of corn in the ground and you prepared the soil and now you're fertilizing it and watering it, you understand that you want to give it a minute. You want to give it a little time. You just wouldn't get so impatient that you're stomping on the ground and then digging it up and eating the kernel of corn. You understand that there is a process. So in the same way, we want you to feel this process of momentum from the thoughts that you think and what you're asking for and their full manifestation. And we want you to recognize with us that you are here in your physical bodies because you like manifestation. But that doesn't mean that it's only the in the moment money in the bank account or in the moment person in your life experience that is the manifestation. There are manifestations all along the way, because every moment that you don't have the relationship that you're looking for is a manifestation too. And how you feel during those manifestations when that person isn't there yet have everything to do with how it's going to feel when the person is there, or whether or not the person ever really shows up. Did you hear that? You have a whole lot of manifestations. Here's a manifestation, and here's one, and here's one, and here's one, and here's one. Lonely, 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 really lonely, really lonely, really lonely, really lonely, really lonely. Lonely. So lonely. So lonely. Well, distract yourself. Don't be lonely. Be glad about something. Be happy about this. Be happy about this. Be happy, 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 happy. I can't be happy. My lover's not here yet. Well, then change the subject. I can't change the subject. I've got too much momentum going. Then meditate. Do something that allows you to change the subject, because you cannot have a lonely, lonely, lonely journey on your way to the relationship that you're looking for. It just doesn't work that way any more than you could dig the seed up out of the ground and then wonder why the corn never shows itself to you. That was good. But even more important than this is the way that you're going to get to the relationship, even more important than that is the I'm happy here and I'm happy here. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with this meditation that has quieted my mind. I'm satisfied with feeling energy moving through my body. I'm satisfied feeling source within me. Love that thought. Love that thought. I'm so satisfied with that thought. Satisfied with that rendezvous, satisfied with that conversation, satisfied with that great idea, satisfied with that impulse to go. In other words, you got to get into a satisfaction mode in order to be satisfied on the topics that are important to you. So you don't even have to be on the subject of relationship. In fact, it's better to get off the subject of relationship, because that subject is active in a way, as you were describing, you were very descriptive about how they come and go and they don't stick and near misses and all that sort of thing with your gestures. We understand that, but you can't get there from there. That's a really powerful statement that we mean. You can't get there from there. You can't jump in over here at the manifestation stage with all the habit of thought and all the habit of vibration that you've got going and change anything. You're just going to get more of the same. If all you're doing is looking around at what you've got and looking around at how it is and joining groups with others and talking about what is and how it is, nothing changes. You just keep getting more of the same. Different places, different faces, but more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. But the good news is, in all of that, you're launching rockets of desire and your inner being is tending them. So when you get back into this replenishing mode, then you start enjoying the journey. You see, we would like you to say to your lovers when you find them, rather than saying, yay, finally, where have you been? Or I'm happy, 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 happy. Esther sat on an airplane next to a young couple, and Esther really thought that this really cute girl was going to wear the skin right off of her boyfriend's hand. She never stopped touching it. Esther wanted to touch it too. She was all over his thumb and between his fingers and up under here and over here and under here and over there and down there. And the savoring that she was doing, it was so beautiful to see. She just savored everything about him. The savoring is intense, and we know you want to get to that place, but there's got to be other savoring before there's a hand. There's got to be other savoring, you see. And if there isn't, then there's not ever going to be a hand in your hand. You got to be glad to be alive and glad for this day and glad for this beautiful whatever it is. You see, your inner being knows your heart. Your inner being knows what you want. Your inner being knows exactly what you want. Your inner being knows exactly who would please you most. Your inner being knows what you want and where what you want is. And your inner being knows how to position you with precision for the next thing you're ready for, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. So you got to be willing to follow the next path of satisfaction, because sometimes your inner being is going to take you through the path of least resistance, and some of you have put a lot of stuff on your trail. You can have satisfaction all the way, but a lot of time it doesn't even look like you're going to meet a rapper. You thought you were just moving furniture, and that was enough. It wasn't until you met the rapper and you had the experience that you knew all along that's where you were going. But you didn't wake up even with the ability to say that's where you were going. You didn't know that. You just knew as much as you knew. And that's what we're asking you. We're asking you to be willing to just know as much as you know, with this trusting that as much as you know is enough. You sort of getting it? This is enough. It has to be enough because it's all you've got. You cannot receive more than you're ready to receive. So what are you going to do? Throw a tantrum on the floor? I'm not in the receiving mode. I'm not ready to receive. That won't work. Just notice what you are receiving and then milk it. Talk about it. Enjoy it. Fan the flames of it. Know what you're receiving. Notice what you're receiving and be glad for it. And then momentum must begin to build. And suddenly you find yourself on a track where it's happening so fast that anybody that's watching you, it sort of knocks their socks off. They just cannot believe how many wonderful things are flowing into your experience seemingly simultaneously.
Well, my current situation is, what do you do when...
Well, now let's just savor this moment for a moment.
I understand and I appreciate all, I get all what you saying. However...
You're going to screw it up in what way?
No. I just want to hear the perception because sometimes right now in my life is this person that is being 5 years. So this person came back and I got a message about 2 years ago, okay, this person is coming back to your life. And actually it was its exact time. So what do you do with that? Like with that, because I receive insights, intuitions, however you want to call
So what does the idea of that feel like to you? Does that make your heart sing? Does that idea make you really feel happy? When that idea is active in your mind, is there satisfaction in that idea? That's the only question that you ever have to ask. Is this a satisfying thought? And if it is, stay in it. Just stay right there if it feels so good. Just stay right there. Just stay right there if it feels so good. Just savor it. Just savor it. If it's feeling good, just stay right there with it. But if it isn't, then how does that idea feel?
It just made me wonder.
And what else? Doubt.
Is it real? Yeah, doubt.
Yeah. So we wouldn't spend any time keeping that vibration alive. And it doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. What you're doing there is sort of like digging the corn up and saying, well, I'll just eat you. This is probably what the sign was. It's not going to grow. Give it up. There's not going to be any real corn. Might as well just eat that. That's what you're doing there.
I got it.
When you're satisfied, you don't have to be patient. And you're not patient. We don't want you to be patient. You've developed patience. It's only people who offer thoughts in opposition to their true desire that have to learn to be patient. Those of you who find satisfaction, because satisfaction is far different than patience. Satisfaction is on it, 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 on it. Satisfaction is hands in the clay. If you were molding a sculpture from clay, you wouldn't just take a big clump of clay and splat it down and say, oh, it didn't turn out right. You'd enjoy the feel of it. You'd enjoy watching it over time take shape. And this is the same sort of thing. Just enjoy. Enjoy the becoming. Enjoy the becoming. And you know, there are a couple of reasons that we want you to enjoy the becoming. 3 reasons, really. We want you to enjoy because it's better than not enjoying. And we want you to enjoy the becoming because that's what allows the becoming. So the manifestation is really dependent upon you enjoying the becoming. But the other reason, and this is the big one, is because you are always, 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 hear this, every single day, every single moment, you are always going to be standing in a place where there's something more that you've asked for that you're not ready for. There's always going to be something more that you've asked for that you are not ready for. And if you need it all to come before you can feel good, you're not ever going to feel good. You have to accept the ongoing nature of discovery and wanting and unfolding, and that has to be the rhythm that you're enjoying. It's like the farmer who really enjoys farming likes every part of it. He knows how to prepare the fields, and he knows the importance of the planting, and he knows the importance of the fertilization and the watering. And yes, the harvest is something that is satisfying for sure, but every part of it has to be satisfying if any part of it is going to be of value, you see. And so you just want to get into that mode more, where say some things to yourself like, I'm looking forward to this, but it doesn't have to happen right now, and I like where I'm at on that. Somebody says, how's your relationship coming? Right on track. Oh, really? Have you met someone? Right on track. Oh, really? Tell me more. Right on track. Right where I want to be. Really? Tell me more. Because you need to hear things that I'm not ready for. So if I tell you only where I'm at, you're going to deem me as failing, and I'm not failing. I'm on the way to this.